close main event. How did you score it in the final fight of the night?
Yeah, I mean, I had Aljo winning the fight.
Yeah. But still close, right?
Very close fight, yeah.
What did you think of Henry's performance after 3 years away from the
Incredible. Yeah, you know, I'm a big believer in ring rust. And, you know, not only did he fight 5 tough rounds against a guy much bigger than him, you know, yeah, he looked good.
And then for Aljamain, it looked like initially Henry might have the wrestling advantage, but Aljo was able to take his back a couple of times, get the hooks in. What was your reaction?
Yeah, one of the things that impresses me about Henry Cejudo is, like the Marias fight, after the first round, I said, ooh, Henry's in trouble tonight. And then he makes these adjustments and comes back in the second round and looks unbelievable. So, yeah, I thought both guys fought a hell of a fight.
Before this fight, we were talking about whoever wins, it does something for their legacy, right? For Aljo, it cements him as being one of the best bantamweights of all time. Do you think after that performance that is fair, that he is one of the best in history?
Yeah, it was a big win for him. It was obviously a big win. You know, there's a lot of, like I said, leading up to this fight, you know, there's the Peter Yan fight, and then there's the Dillashaw fight, and, you know, going in and you know, grueling it out for 5 rounds with Henry Cejudo, regardless of the weight and size difference, it's a big deal to beat Henry.
You know, you usually don't make fights on the night of the fight.
But you're going to ask me anyway?
Well, I feel like it's fair to say Sean O'Malley's probably next for Aljamain Sterling, right? I mean,
that what?
That Sean O'Malley might just be next for Aljamain.
Yeah, I've had better ideas than what I did tonight. Not a great idea, but yes, he's next.
When you bring him into the cage and they have the face-off and then you slowly see it start to escalate with Merab, do you just think, I should?
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Do we have any sort of timeline on when we'd like to do that fight?
Yeah, probably August.
Okay. In Boston?
Probably.
Okay, cool. Gilbert Burns, Belal Muhammad. Belal got the win. Gilbert looked to be fighting kind of injured. I'm curious of your reaction to that fight.
Yeah, he had a tear in his shoulder. I think it was that first scramble on the ground there when he took him down, and he's got a tear. Yeah.
And we're safe to say Belal is fighting the winner of Leon versus Colby.
And what's that?
Belal.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, and the last one for me, I wanted to sort of give some props to Diego Lopez. Stepped in on 5 days' notice against Mosvar, nearly tapped him in the first round, fought really hard in the third round. On 5 days' notice, pretty impressive.
Awesome. Incredible performance. Kid's got a ton of heart. He's an absolute dog. Loved every minute of it, yeah.
And what did we think of his haircut?
Well, listen, he fought so good, let's leave his haircut alone. Go ahead.
Dana, I want to ask about Yan Xiaonan. Obviously, a great finish of Jessica Andrade. We had her back here, and I was asking her like how big a fight between her and Zhang could be for China. Do you have any insight on like the metrics of maybe you can't do it there right now, but like what could that do for that market that you guys have been continuing to push into?
You know what's crazy is Teddy Atlas was sitting with me during that fight, and Andrade kept throwing lead left hooks. And he says, if she keeps, this girl throws great straight right hands. If she keeps throwing that lead left hook, she's going to knock her out with a straight right. And he literally called exactly what was going to happen. And she threw like 3 hooks in a row. He literally called it 2 minutes before it happened because she kept throwing these lead left. He says, when people are sparring and they're throwing lead left hooks like that against somebody who can throw, I literally jump in the ring and tell them to stop. And I break up the whole sparring and break it down. But he literally called that was going to happen. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with Yan, where she's going to go, but I'm definitely going to look at China. Yeah.
You could potentially go back to China and do an event there. Wow.
I'm looking at that right now.
And
Merab Dvalishvili, he took Sean O'Malley's jacket. He's currently the #1 ranked bantamweight. What plans do you have for him for his next fight?
I don't know. He doesn't want to fight Aljo. You know what I mean? So I have no idea.
Was that fight offered?
What?
Him versus Aljo?
Oh, yeah. You could have that fight tomorrow. Yeah.
Dana, over.
Yep.
Speaking of cross promotionals, I saw the UFC Twitter account retweeted a couple weeks ago a promotion from a skateboarding championship series.
Right.
There was a few connections we noticed. It was on Rumble, so with the slap fighting, there was that tit for tat, perhaps. And it turns out that Lorenzo Fertitta is one of the owners of that league or of one of the promotions in that. I'm not sure the exact details of that. What was the UFC's decision to do that? Was this like a favor for a friend? Does Endeavor have a part in this?
Lorenzo and I own it.
You're in a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We own a company called Throw One. We own Ridiculousness. We own SLS. We own Nitrous Circus. And we own Travis Pastrada's NRX rally car.
Okay. Didn't know that. So that's going to be just a staple in the cross promotion, like slap fighting has been the slap power league.
I don't know. If I feel like it, yes.
Fair. Also getting into the slap fighting promotion, not exactly how you probably envisioned it working in the bids. Some good, some bad. A lot of publicity, negative, your own issues as well. How is this playing forward into the next season? We saw promotions of it on there.
It's been incredible. The deal that I just cut for Slap is bigger than the UFC deal we cut with Spike TV after the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. I don't give a shit what the media says about it. They don't matter.
So money-wise, it's working out, is what you're saying, basically.
It's fucking unbelievable. Not only is it unbelievable money-wise, it's been unbelievable as far as social media goes. We're number one in all of sports. And when I say all of sports, if you take the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, F1, WWE, and who am I forgetting, and added them all together, their numbers don't compare to Slap's. Yeah. Yeah.
That seems a little doubtful.
Yeah, you can doubt it all you want.
I mean, I was covering for the finale of it, and I saw the numbers on Rumble, and there were people watching, but...
There were people watching. It did 3.2 million viewers, and 1.7 million of them had never been to Rumble before.
Well, I was one of those, that's for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But it certainly, that number didn't show up on that counter that Rumble had.
But that's how it works when you stream. When it's streaming, it's not really the actual number right there. It's the same thing when you go live on Instagram. I mean, is Eric in here? Like if you have a big number and you're streaming, how does that exactly work?
Kind of the same as you're saying. So we did
Right.
Instagram Live tonight, the walkout for the red court, blue court, the main event. We had 21,000 concurrent. We don't have a total.
Yeah. So he was saying 21,000 concurrents. What's a massive number when you're streaming? I mean, we were the biggest stream on a Saturday for Slap. The good thing is that most of you guys don't understand social media and how it works. And what publication are you from?
MMA Mania.
Okay. I'll give you the numbers on Slap that were done by a third party that does this. We didn't pull the numbers. These guys are like the Nielsen's numbers for social media. We destroy everything in sports with Power Slap.
Okay. And are you at all concerned that some of it is perhaps, and I'll apologize in advance because it sounds a little rude, but
No, fire away.
Some of it might be laughing at, not with kind of a deal, like bad publicity being,
Do you think I give a shit?
That's
I
why
just
asked.
I just did a deal that's bigger than the UFC did when they went on Spike TV. I don't give a shit who's laughing. You know who's laughing? This guy.
There you go.
That's who's laughing.
That answered my question. Thank you.
No, my pleasure.
My immediate thoughts were, I told you guys, I'm the best welterweight in the world, and to go out there and beat a guy like Gilbert Burns, 3 weeks notice, coming off of Ramadan, you guys have no idea what we went through to get to here, but I love my team, love my crew, and I know with our faith in ourselves and our faith in God, we get through anything.
So tell us about what you went through, because there's a lot of the Twitter investigative journalists looking at you stepping off the scale and walking into the arena tonight, maybe a limp. Did you come into this fight injured?
Yeah, I mean, you go into every fight a little bit injured, especially a 3-week notice fight. You're like wanting to rush into stuff, and you get right into hard training, and then you go through a couple things. But like I said, there's nothing that was going to stop me from walking to this cage tonight. There was nothing that was going to stop me from not doing it, because this was my chance. This was my moment to prove to the world and show the world what I'm capable of doing. And to do that, I know that there was no pulling out. There was nothing like, oh man, you know what, never mind. It was like, once I made the decision, we had to go through with it, and thank God we got through it.
So looking ahead, who do you think you are going to be fighting for the welterweight title? Will it be Leon Edwards or Colby Covington?
Both of them can get it. I cannot wait, man. I'm just glad that the boss, the man, Dana White, shout out to Dana for saying it and giving me the opportunity to fight for my shot. And now I earned my shot. I took my shot. There's no denying me now. All I needed to hear was there's nothing next but the title shot. So, can't wait.
Perfect world. When do you make this happen?
Perfect world. We're fighting in October in Abu Dhabi. That's the perfect world. But I know both those guys. My brother. See, you got the champ right there. That's when you got a champ saying you deserve the title shot. That says a lot about you. Shout out to Jamal Hill. But yeah, perfect worlds fighting in Abu Dhabi. That would be amazing. You know there ain't gonna be no booing out there. To fight over there in front of my people would be great. But wherever it goes, man, we can fight in enemy territory and friendly territory and no territory. Just give me a cage and some gloves, and I'm ready to throw down.
Are you trying to bounce out of New Jersey as quickly as possible tonight, or what?
Bro, I got the jersey on now. I'm trying to be Team New Jersey, but I'm trying to be nice to these guys. I came in here, wanted to be a co-main event. I took a picture of Frankie Edgar, and nobody appreciates me, man.
Just give us your immediate thoughts on the fight. I know some people felt you won. Sean O'Malley was in here. He said he thought you won. Did you feel you won?
Sure, why not? I gotta rewatch the fight. I just know the improvements that I have to make to flip that. You know, it's like, yeah, I fought my ass off, but at the same time, it has been 3 years. But I had a great training camp. You know, could have done more, or could have adjusted. Not could have done more, but could have adjusted on some things, and that's kind of what bugs me a little bit. Just stupid little errors, like particularly that first round. I was winning it, put him to his back. I just allowed him to kind of steal it at the very end, and I mean, there's a lot of people who think that I won. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, typically the way I see it, if I don't dominate, like, it's just hard, man. I'm such a fucking competitor, man. I don't think people realize that. Like, to me, it's all or nothing. If I'm not first, I'm fucking last. You know?
I know there was some moments of success, but you kind of said there, like, do you think in some of those sequences, if you didn't have the 3 years, like, before when you were fighting, would you have been a little sharper there? Do you think the time off had a lot to do with it? Because I know you feel you're a smarter fighter now, but was the execution just not there?
Yeah, probably. Like, even when I retired, after I won the Olympics, I retired for 3 years. It was incredible, the fact that I made it all the way to the semifinals at the Olympic trials against the #1 guy in the world, and I missed the Olympic team by that much. I only had like maybe 7, 8 matches of competition, but just to like take it there. You know, sometimes you make your own bed, and that's what happens. You know, I got to go back and really think about what is it that I want to do, because I'm out to chase greatness, man. I'm just not out here just to fight, man. Just to hear the crowd roar. You guys tell me, good job. Oh, I think you won. Like, my dream is to just reach mountains that nobody's ever climbed. And I think, and that's partially why I take my resume that serious, and that's probably why I even started the shtick, because I am proud of it. You know, can I say it? The Olympic champ, the flyweight champ, the bantamweight champion of the world, the greatest combat athlete of all time. Like, that's, you know, this is the stuff that motivates me. And it is what it is, man. I will say this, man. Aljo was awkward as hell, dude. Like, he was, like, I now understand the funk. I thought it was just his breath, or the fact that it was probably a little smelly, but the dude was, he is a little awkward in there. If you don't have those right guys to mimic him, it's different. It's just different, because he's a freestyler. Like, he's just, he's out there making adjustments on the move, or he's just moving just to move, or he's doing certain things just to do, and it'll mess with you a little bit.
What do you think? I know, and when you talked to Rogan in there, you said you're kind of internally conflicted. It's been a few more minutes, not too long, but if you had to bet right now, do we see you fight ever again?
I gotta watch the fight. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, Dana did it. It was pretty cool that Dana did help me remove my gloves, which is really nice. I got a nice little handshake from him too. I don't know, man. I gotta lay back. You know, my wife's pregnant. Like, we're getting ready to have another kid, and even these last, 2 to 3 months, like, not being able to give my kid that attention that I'm a good father, man. I love spending time with my kid. I love playing with them, and it's just like cutting weight, not holding her, kind of neglecting that, like just having a lot of my training partners play with her. It's almost like those are the stuff that maybe to a lot of people, maybe a lot of you guys don't give a fuck, but to me, the time with my kid means the world to me, especially the fact that I have another one on the way.
As it should. And just last thing for me, it still shows you're held in high regard. You probably haven't seen this, but Brandon Moreno took to Instagram and basically called you out. He said after his next fight, he wants to fight you in Mexico City. He would even move up to bantamweight. He said, F the belts. And that's a fight he seems to badly want.
I guess now everybody wants a piece of me, huh? Yeah, I guess we'll talk about it. I mean, money talks. If the UFC wants to put it together and there's a nice little budget in for both of us, I ain't doing it in Mexico, though. Hell no. We can do it here in America or something like that, but...
A few, obviously, milestone victories in your career, but I've got to imagine that this one in New Jersey feels as sweet as any of the rest of them.
This one in New Jersey is definitely the sweetest for multiple reasons. My first main event, taking on a legend, someone so accomplished like Henry Cejudo is not an easy task, man. Like, yeah, we both do YouTube channels and we analyze and break down fights, but dude, the guy is freaking smart. I don't think a lot of people can even appreciate what was going on in the middle of that octagon. Both of us making adjustments to each other's adjustments. It was a high-level physical chess match, and thankfully, I think I came out just a little bit better, and maybe that means my YouTube channel is a little bit better.
Were you, you said you think came out a little bit better. Were you confident when it was going to the judges, when it got announced to split? Were you a bit nervous? What was the emotions?
I mean, I was confident I won. I was like, I definitely feel like I won that 3-2, but at the same time, I was like, you just never know, man. Like, people give ring generalship to the guy who's just walking forward and making a mean face. And it's like the other guy's circling around you, dancing around you, making you look silly, you're missing, and they give it to the other guy because he came forward. I'm like, that doesn't score. Scoring fights is literally doing damage. If I'm dancing around you, I'm using my footwork, and you can't touch me, that's me controlling the octagon. If you are cutting me off as you're pressuring me, and I'm on the backside of the cage, and you're landing shots, you're controlling the octagon, you're controlling the action. But that's not what happened tonight, so close fight, but I definitely thought I won and edged it out. In my personal opinion, I know there's going to be some critics out there saying, oh, once again, he has a controversial win. He didn't really win that. Man, SMD, bro. Get used to this face, because it's not going anywhere, guys. It's not.
You're obviously a fan of this. I'm curious, got into some wrestling exchanges, took us back a couple of times, but what was it like to tangle in the wrestling department with a gold medalist?
I think I'm an Olympic gold medalist now. I think, what was that, 3 takedowns, I think? At least 2.
You got 4.
4?
You got 3.
I lost count. But no, seriously, though, strong guy. I knew I was going to do better in the clinch with the body lock. He did a great job utilizing the inside leg trip, even though I kind of knew it was coming, but there were certain positions I was like, I want him to tie up with me there because I feel like I could bang him to the body a couple of times with some knees. And I know Mighty Mouse hurt him there, and I felt like I can expose that situation. So I felt like if he didn't get the trip, he might be a little bit lost in those positions and probably try to bail. I think he might have overcommitted with the wrestling and gave me more opportunities to take him down than he probably would have liked. But that's what I'm saying. It's such a high-level chess match. It's game of inches, split-second decisions, and I came out on top of that.
It looked like they want, or Dana was saying he would like to see it maybe August in Boston, if that's something that would work for you. Thoughts on Sean O'Malley?
My thoughts on Sean O'Malley is that motherfucker is frail. Frail. You think if I could take down a short, stocky guy like Henry, who's actually a gold medalist and has good takedown defense, what am I going to do to Sean O'Malley? Like, let's be honest here, guys. Like, yeah, he's been promised the title shot. He opted not to take the title shot and gave Henry a chance to come back and chase history. I beat Henry. Now there's no more running. You either want to swim with the big boys or you don't. If not, get the fuck out of the pool or go up a weight class or some shit. Don't keep sitting around here talking and barking and not saddling it up and taking the opportunities that are given. This is what the sport's all about. You take the opportunities that are given to you. I guarantee you, we step in there, I think I fold that man in half in 1 round. It's just going to... Same thing I did to Sandhagen. Go out there, pressure forward. He's going to use his footwork. I'm going to cut off the cage like I was just talking about. Eventually, he's going to be on his back foot, let him throw a stupid kick that I'm going to catch. I'm going to body lock him. I'm going to fold him in half like a lawn chair, and that's going to be the fight. Signed, sealed, delivered.